Hello everybody, this is Max Farrow and this is DexTrader.com, and this is the weekly wrap-up for the forex educational signals on DexTrader.com. And this past week has been a very unusual week, but we still got a lot of great information. As some of you know, we've just started releasing our forex signals at current price with a very special algorithm and way to trade them. That if the win ratio is below 50%, you do the opposite of what the direction is called a negative algorithm. If it's on the positive side, you go with the actual direction that it's calling. Within that, we use a 20 pip stop loss on one side and a 20 pip take profit on the other. But we can trim the fat by going in and checking out the trade and looking left and finding structure and doing a whole bunch of other small little things that we teach you inside. And this is what the results were for the past week. Now, you see a lot of blue. You see a lot of, you're unsure which way everything is going. Don't worry. I'm going to show you here in a spreadsheet on how it actually performed with actual numbers. Okay, let's head over there. All right, now before we get started over there, overall, okay, just so you know, overall throughout all the sessions and all the pairs, we had 79 wins and 60 losses. Now that's only a 56% success rate, but let me tell you right now, it still yielded a 246 pip week, and that's from Sunday night to this morning before the NFP, because we don't trade the NFP with these signals. If it was a regular Friday, no big deal, right? But it's not a regular Friday. So this is from Sunday night to Friday morning, a five day period, basically. But over 139 signals given at that time. So not too bad. Still yielded out a positive ROI. We weren't in a negative. Yay for us. Now, cool thing. Let's go down. I've done some numbers, done some homework, and started to pair everything off in actual, what pairs did the best. So let's have a look. Audi JPY, 66%, not too bad. Yielded out about 27 pips. Not a lot of trades, but again, the success rate here, depending on what time frame and what area and all that stuff, and what session it was working on, yielded a better success than some. The Audi USD did not so well this week. Euro British Gold Pound also not so well, but still yielded out a 4 pip yield, even at 40%, mostly because it hit the 20 pip or 19 pip profit a few times. Let's see here, Euro British Gold Pound. No, it had very consistent when it did lose, but when it did win, it won big. It won a couple of 20 and 120 there, and a few others with a lot of small losses. Okay, so that still can happen like that. So that's pretty powerful. Euro JPY, a pretty good success rate with a nice little yield. Not a lot of signals, but still more than most. You see 10, 12, 9. So probably the best producer out of all of the signals so far at that 59%. Then here comes the Euro USD doing its job and trading with 26 pips at 69%. Again, a lot of tiny little pip wins and a couple big losses. So there's another big pip win from that position. So again, it doesn't take very many pip wins to be able to do that. Here's a big winner for you. British Gold Pound JPY at 100%. It can do no wrong with 8 signals last week, yielding out 116 pips because it had so many that went into the opposite that direction, and just took on just such a when this thing gives out a signal, pay attention to the British Gold Pound JPY. That's basically what it's saying. Another big winner here, British Gold Pound USD. Just about any time it's going to come up, you're going to win some pretty good money on it, as you can kind of see. But that British Gold Pound JPY is super huge in our book so far. So, and again, this is over a week worth of yielding of that information. Next week it could change to a degree, but we're going to find out. So each week I'm going to be doing one of these. We'll be comparing on how well we did and the big winner over a 2-week, 3-week, 4-week period. So this is the first week we're doing them, so this is the only one we have. All right, next, another big winner, but not a lot of yield here, is the USD C80. Sorry, I forgot to put that in a USD C80. Well, because I have my thing on, so don't worry about it. There we go. There we go. USD C80. Won all their trades during the week, so not too bad. within that process, but still lots of stuff to work on. 27% yield on its USD CHF. Not so great. Not really happy with the USD CHF or the USD JPY as well this week or any week at this point. Probably not going to trade either of these components next week in my trade portfolio. Anything that's going to be hitting overall under 20%, 27%, 42%, really, and still with an ROI yield of minus 49. Not really looking too forward to that next week. So probably going to remove these from my portfolio next week just to kind of see, maybe let it give it a chance to recuperate or see if there's a change next week. If there's no change next week, and guess what? USD CHF and USD JPY come off my portfolio. So let's drag this thing down just a little bit further and let's look at the sessions and how well they did. I combine the Aussie and the Asian sessions together because they really do have the biggest overlap there from in the time periods that I enjoy from after the bell at 5 o'clock to I'd say about 11, 12 o'clock that I start trading, but it goes all the way up to 2. I'm sorry, I'm yawning. I can't believe it. It's been a very long night. But the process, the US session has really not done super great with 48.75%, but still yielded out a very high rate of success with the amount of pips it did, mostly because there was a couple good pairs that just killed it, right? Again, Audi USD for the New York session, big no-no, right? Audi JPY, though, its little counterpart there, is something that I would trade during the US session if I was going to be trading that. Okay, so that's a big one there. That's a nice one to know about. Steer clear of the Audi next week in the US session just to see how your portfolio performs for the week. Another loser is a Euro British Gold Pound during the US session. Did not do so well at all, yielding out pretty badly. The Euro JPY though came back and did pretty good during the US session. So I'm going to keep this in my portfolio as well. I'm going to have this spreadsheet on the forex system for the tally for the week, so you guys can see this, and I'll make sure that you have access to it, so you can come down and look to see which ones you'll avoid. I'm definitely keeping the British Gold Pound JPY in my portfolio here with this process here too. Because I just updated the screen here from the previous one, and I have a mistake here. I do apologize. I don't know why it has oh, that's why. It's not supposed to be 49. Yeah, like that, like this. Made a boo-boo. There we go. Now I was wondering why. Why was it 100% on the other screen and 85%? No. So here's the big yield for the week. This is a big winner for us. Lots of movement in that time period. British Gold Pound JPY on the New York session, 100% yielded up 95 pips there. Oop, no, I forgot to do that one too. Let me do this. It was even more. 102, right? Did I get that right? I forget. The British Gold Pound JPY traded in another session too, so there were stuff that was left out of there. So I apologize, but there was a total of 8 trades with 116 pips, because there was a couple of times it traded in the London session down below. So we'll keep that in mind. I was going crazy there for a second. British Gold Pound USD also did very well in the US session. At 71% with 38 pips coming back at us for that trade series. So if you're trading US session, this is a pretty good earmark. USD CAD did really well as well. I think this is the only 4 that it produced was during the US session. Get back down here. Yep, the only 4 that were produced were in the US session, and they all won on the USD CAD. So big performer. And again, USD CHF and USD JPY, not great performers this week during that time period. Now, during the London session, one pair to definitely stay away from is the Audi USD. There's so much negativity on this Audi USD happening during this time. But as you see, the Audi USD up here didn't do well either in the US session. So if we scroll down, and let me just cheat here just for a second, come down here, it does really well in its own session, the Asian and Aussie session. So the one it did lose was in its own session. So not a lot of trades, right? Not a lot of trades there, but still a pretty good yield out. So probably going to steer away from the AUD USD altogether next week. So some big no-nos. Going to stay away from USD CHF, USD JPY, and the AUD USD. Probably going to stay away from them. Anything that has less than a 50% success rate in this process, we're going to stay away from. But let's get back to the London session. Not a lot of trades overall, as you can kind of see with only 20 trades happening during that time period. But not a lot of trades happening in that solution. So we're probably I don't trade that session. I know that's like Paul and a few others that are in there. But if you are going to trade, the big winners are. Of course, USD JPY, go figure, right? With its 100%, but there's only two. I'd probably stay with, of course, Euro British Gold Pound, Euro JPY, Euro USD, of course, and British Gold Pound, everything, right? So pretty much not everything, but AUD USD stay away from completely, and then trade everything else and to your heart's content with that availability. Anything you can get on during that time. Now the Asian session's another matter completely. We did, almost twice as much as we did in the London session, and we yielded out a little smaller amount of profit in that solution. The big winner, of course, is the U.S. session. But again, if you want solid prediction for that period, the AUD USD does okay, but the big winners are Euro USD, British Gold Pound USD, and of course the USD JPY did not do so good, even at a 53% on the positive side, so we'd probably steer away from that. So Euro JPY did okay in its own session, like it. Probably going to probably steer away from AUD altogether, but I'll use the Euros, British Gold Pounds, and go from there. We didn't get any British Gold Pound JPY signals happening in the Asian session that entire week. So that's basically it. That's the weekly wrap up for the Forex educational signals. We did very, very well overall. For me personally, trading for the week, I'll have to give you my personal wrap up here. I just have to be careful on how I do that. I'm still working on the legality and the regulations on how I show you my personal portfolio, how it works out. But let's just say I made more than 120 pips for the week. I think I came out to be, it was like 160 something pips total. I'd have to check on that just to verify, because I know I didn't trade at all today because of the NFP. But for next week, we'll have a full week worth of trades happening, and probably a lot more coming onto the board, because I know that there was one day we had to sort of reset some things that were happening. So next week will be another full week, and we'll sort of compare what happened this week with next week in there as well, and see if there is a shift in here. I'll have a plus up from last week or minus down from that process, so we could start really seeing this forecast for the following week. And I think this is something that you're going to really enjoy being able to utilize as a tool, is somebody in there checking and making sure that what levels each one does and how well they do for that time period. Okay, so this is gold here for us for able to use, knowing what to do and what not to do for next week. I'm Max Farrow. This is DexTrader.com, and of course, make sure that you always keep that risk availability, and that this market is very difficult. And as always, trade well. Hey, before I let you go, just real quickly, if some of you are watching this and you don't know how to get our Forex educational signal, since we're still in beta on that system, come here and take part in our beta testing part of the process, because we have an introductory cost of $97. Click to join now, pay your money, get on board, help us figure out the signals. Even though that you're helping us, we're going to give you a very good price at this. Use the Dex Save 50 coupon on the Forex educational signals, and we're going to give you a great deal on that process. You're going to get a lot of consults. There's a lot of opportunity. We're doing webinars 2 or 3 times a week for this group of educational signals in here to help train you on how to use and make money with Forex. Okay, because it is a very tough industry out there. So make sure that you have people that you trust. to be able to stand by your side. All right, so click to join now and get started. If you're already a part, or maybe you're already a beta tester in the system, please make sure that you're filling out your journals and keeping stuff going. All right, I'm Max Farrell. This is Dex Trader, and as always, trade well.